Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. A viewer has requested a twin flames natal charts analysis, so that's what we'll do now. We're looking at the chart on the left, which will be the female who requested this. As you can see, the ascendant is Taurus. That's also the first house as well. The first house defines your personality as the world sees you, and your ascendant is where the sun was rising over the horizon when you were born. Taurus rules the second house of money, possessions, and value systems. And Taurus, of course, is an earth sign. Now, one thing about Taurus is that this is a universal rule. People are drawn to Taurus. So even if Taurus doesn't want to be bothered, Taurus is going to find out that people are still trying to find a way in and be drawn to them. And a lot of times, if some people come to a conclusion, if Taurus says something else, they'll almost change what they just said and to try to agree with the Taurus. So these are universal facts that these things tend to happen when Taurus is. Tauruses just have to be careful because they're strong, but they can be stubborn, and you just have to avoid having a bully mentality. So sometimes, even if you're right, if people aren't going forward, you may not have any choice but to let them go their way. Now, the second house is Gemini. And this is your second house it's ruled by Taurus. Aries rules the first house. So again, you just have to be careful of bull-like Aries aggression. But Aries energy will help Taurus be focused because Aries is a very focused sign. Now in the second house, still ruled by Taurus, still has Taurus energy, but Gemini is there. So Gemini is with creativity. So this person would be creative with money, possessions, and value systems. Mental skills, multitasking. So all those things can help them gain income. Gemini deals with the brotherhood, siblings, younger education. Very creative. But Gemini often lacks the depth to hang in there. So if you were to see Gemini in the career sector, that might imply a person that has more than one job, or a person who's known from going to job. So you just have to be careful not to mess up one's income with the Gemini energy. Gemini is very creative, though. They're very creative. And you have that nurturing that is retrograde, which means that it's not, something happens here that's not nurturing. Now, ironically, the third house. See, even as soon as you go to the third house, you get a little information, because the third house again is Gemini. So you see family. Whenever you see Mars with family in family signs, or Mars in the fifth house, that's not really good, because it could even mean children. And you got, see, the reason why it doesn't look good at all, because your third house is about, well, yeah, younger education, children, or siblings. And this is family. So this may be an educational person, because the third house ruled by Gemini And the fourth house, ruled by Cancer, is about education. Third house, younger education. Fourth house, teenage to adult education. But the fourth house also does with land and property, family and ancestors, the heart, vehicles, and transportation. And also deals with the Imon Coeli, which is the moon in Cancer. But basically, the Imon Coeli, which is that motherly presence. But see, she's the nurturer. The moon in Cancer is the nurturer, and you have a no nurturing or a failure to nurture in the second house. So you definitely have some type of Gemini things going on that I'm naming. Some type of nurturing thing might even be with the mother. It could be like when you see this, it could be anything. They may not get along, may have issues with the mother, might have had issues with themselves, may even have been abuse issues. So to learn a little bit more, we can always do that Mars retrograde. And again, we're in the third house. The 6-9 is Cancer. And you have the Mars with the aura or Mars retrograde. So that's going to give some insight. But there's definitely some family conflicts there. All right. I know I'm familiar with this website. I didn't want to come here. I wanted to go to the other one. But sometimes the spirit leads you where the spirit leads you. So we're going to go here first. This is pathwaytoascension.com. Give me a moment. Person with a Mars retrograde will tend to expend a lot of energy reliving internally your past experiences, and that's not good. Because they said Mars energy shifts the outward thrust of energy characteristics of Mars and directs it inward. Now, and it doesn't mean they just hold it in and hold it in and blow up. It could mean that, but it also could mean that they just are mad about stuff from things that happened in the past. Might be some repression there, or even past life stuff that they haven't dealt with yet. So this person can almost be like a walking time bomb. Like somebody, you're saying, why does that person get so upset? Because they're carrying stuff that they haven't healed from yet. And they say this person is constantly in the past. So the people around you are still going through what you went through in the past. And so that could be like, it could be with this family, but it could also be past life stuff that you're bringing into this family. Like only that person would know. But they said there is a strong tendency to place priority upon fulfilling your spiritual desires, resulting in neglect of the physical body's needs. So they say that you need an intentional focus on holistic growth. and that would also include holistic healing. Sexual experiences can be less fulfilling because your energy is turned inward. So to see your Gemini is all about twin flames, because if your Gemini energy is like that, then you're definitely going into separation. And if you're not in separation, it's not really a fully healthy relationship, because Gemini is always about that separation in twin flame relationships. Now they say, however, sex that is deeply rooted in love between two partners and that strive for a mutual spiritual orgasm can be a much more natural expression for Mars retrograde. Mars retrograde karma. So you may spend a lot of your time in the present attempting to find people who can symbolize those who fulfilled you in the past. Because this Mars retrograde causes this person to spend a lot of time in the past. You may try to act out all that you could not express in prior lifetimes. You may overreact when your efforts fail to produce your desired results. This overreaction can result in coming on too strongly, only to have people pull back. They're advising you to get sleep, nutrition, a nutritional diet, and a lot of outdoors activity. And I'm always going to say a lot of time in nature as well. Not just outdoor exercise or outdoor activity, but time in nature, breathing, releasing, enjoying the greenery of leaves and plants, and some people even hug trees. Since Mars retrograde tends to be more interested in spiritual desires, you also have to help them realize that you got to take care of your body, because your body is the temple of God and you must care for it. Now, again, that's where the spirits brought me, because normally they go where I'm going now, but the spirits do come in. That's why I don't I try not to rush through, because you gotta let the spirits come in. So I try to just take my time usually. Everybody doesn't like that, but we're trying to get the answers from spirit. All right, I want to thank spirit for that information. Now here we are where I wanted to come. Paganspath.com, retrograde planets. As the planet of war, when Mars is in retrograde position, it can create anger and discord. Often it runs inward, and people go through periods of great self-doubt. Now again, what they're saying, this could be a past life thing. They could have been an angry one for some reason, past life, or some other reason, or it could have been a past life parent. But when I see Curious in his second house, I'm assuming it's some type of nurturing, motherly thing going on. They can go through periods of self-doubt, passive aggression, inner anger, stress, and anguish are all contributions to the Mars retrograde. The inner anger can be released unhealthily or directed to others. But it can also create illness, heightened stress, an increase in conflicts, and severe road rage. So this is all things this person's got to watch out for. No one escapes the effects of this Mars retrograde. Even people that say, oh no, because I'm better with this or better with that. But it says you're still going to have some type of effects. And they say it could even be short tempers. People with Mars retrograde sometimes have trouble speaking up for themselves. They have a lack of self-confidence, lack of direction, or other self-imposed emotional blocks. You might look to others to fight your battles and are always disappointed when no one steps forward in your defense. You may also have a feeling of being a doormat for the one you love. So I'm being honest with you, that's like this is the worst house to have all this going on in, because Gemini is known for twin flame separation. And they say when you do speak up, it's when you've taken all you can. But see, if it's inner anger, it could just blow up. Like when you should have blew up like 3 years ago, you didn't. And now all of a sudden you're blowing up on something really, really small, and people are looking at you like, what's this person's problem? So in a past life, you may have been directed to perform regrettable acts under someone's orders or demands, such as a soldier, a guard, or a potential criminal. To overcome these lessons, try hobbies for focusing your frustrations and stress in a productive manner, such as building, hammering, gardening, or other types of physical activities. Learning techniques for relaxation can also be of a great value, not only for calming your emotions and stresses, but also for looking inward and examining to overcome these issues you have brought onto the lifetime work. Now, I did use some angel cards to find out the time to the person on the right, and one of the cards that came out was Raphael, which tells you how to breathe, breathing techniques, and also how to exhale or let go of the old to let the new energies in. So Raphael is the health archangel. So I'm kind of, without even looking over that, the chart to the right, I'm kind of figuring it's kind of affecting. I kind of feel like it's mutual. So both of you have to work on handling stress and dealing with stress. Plus, you always have to get, whenever you see a retrograde, or even when you get to your 12th house, you just have to deal with what the situations are, because you want to try to get healing and move forward. All right, so now we have good fortune, third house. So this person will have a need to communicate and a need to relate to your surrounding community and family. This person could be a teacher, writer, speaker, newspaper reporter, and others who express themselves well with words. This person is happiest when they can convey their ideas and feelings to others. So that's good because that'll help with healing. Good fortune in Cancer. This person can be warm, nurturing, and maternal. So this person seeks security in the domestic circle. For them, security is essential to their happiness and success. Okay, now fifth, fifth Lion, Leo in the fourth house. Now the reason why that's could not be good because the fourth house already has Mars. So you're looking at Mars retrograde in Leo or Mars retrograde in the fifth house because the fifth house rules Leo. Uh, too much. Because your third house, fourth house, well, excuse me, your second house, third house, and fourth house all imply young ones, young children. Because Leo deals with the children as well. And then you have Saturn there, but that could be like a firm masculine. And that could be a man, but it could still be a female. But it's a firm masculine energy, which is going to kind of stagnate the fun, but it's also going to really affect the children. So this could be some past stuff from childhood that the person is still carrying. It could be past life, but it's looking more and more like now. But sometimes, believe it or not, some of the stuff you go through in the past life, you'll carry over into the next life. But I try to teach people. We look at life from a victim. You know, you're not a victim. You're a victim if you accept it. But you're not a victim. Because the more, and that works. That's why when you hear me talk, I talk about universalism. Because you have to realize you're not a victim. No matter what you've been through, you can still stand back up. And you've got an entire universe. Spirits helping you, angels helping you. It's where you place your focus. And I really think too many people, well, it's not their fault. They really don't know it. But too many people put their trust in this life we live, third dimensional. You're only going to be here for like 70 years at the most. If you make it to like 90 or something, 100, you're really doing good. But we're not going to really be here this long when you go with eternity. And that's why you shouldn't put so much into this life because you're going to get caught up. Somebody hurts you. You're gonna be hurt for the next 40 years and everything. We put too much into this life. So now, without your other house placements, it would have been fun Leo in the fourth house. Well, leadership, fun, childlike, probably somewhat of a family environment. Maybe there was traveling and things of that nature, and for the most part, fun. You know, it could have been Leo can be a little bossy or whatever, a little egotistical, stuff like that, but pretty much fun. But see, that's your fourth house, but we've already proven that not saying you didn't have fun, but there were definitely some issues there with some form of abuse and things of that nature. And with Saturn there, it's kind of showing like a masculine domineering energy, which could still be a female, but it could also be a male. But either way, it wasn't. It definitely took its toll. Now, when you get to your fifth house, this is home. See, your Juno is that asteroid, that asterisk. Looks like a little asterisk star. That's Juno saying you will find yourself in a relationship with a Leo type person with Virgo. You know, home. Virgo is home, service, healing, health, children, small animals, daily activities, daily duties, co-workers, and subordinates. So that's who you might find yourself in a serious relationship with that person. And Juno's right. Venus is right there, but further away. So either with that person or somebody else at some point, but probably a point later on, you start to develop that Venus love. Because it's love, forgiveness, diplomacy, finance, beauty, having fun. But if you notice, it's not right away. So something may happen. And remember, we don't know who that Leo is, because the Leo, the Saturn Leo could be this person. We really don't know that. But it doesn't seem like you're gonna have a loving relationship until later on with this person. And maybe that's because it's healing involved or something like that. Because there goes Pluto. So now, see my point? So now you see your vertex in the 6th house, but your 6th house has Libra. So now your home environment is about partnership or couple, love, and Pluto is there primarily to transform things, purge people, help them grow up a little bit. And that's the cross there, the vertex, that's showing that you're going to have a significant event, significant meeting, significant breakup, or significant like a twin soul or soulmate. Again, twin soul, same soul, different body. Soulmate is anybody who's in your soul family. But you got this kind of going on right here. And whenever you see Pluto, you know you're dealing with Scorpio. So more and more, it's definitely a soulmate situation. But if you notice, again, but it may be that but it's still in Virgo. So it may be the same person, but it's just the whole thing is saying it's not gonna happen right away. Like it'll happen maybe with forgiveness, because Venus does deal with diplomacy and forgiveness, but you will begin to have that the feelings of love and that whole soulmate soul going on. Now, but it's only through healing, because it's in healing, and Pluto's a healer too. So what I'm saying is true. You can see it now. I just had to take time and just think about it. There will be a problem. There will be problems. Now, why those problems are caused? Is he the abusive one? Is he the abusive Leo? We don't know. Is he the one with the abusive lion-like energy, egotistical? We don't know yet. We definitely know it's something that's in the 5th house, because it's definitely something with Leo. We know that lion-like energy. We definitely know that. Could be dad, could be a masculine woman, but it's something there, some family stuff there as well. But somehow she's able to get through it with Venus love and Pluto and Venus helping you to purge, cleanse, heal, and move on. So your 6th house is pretty cool, because you actually get to have a relationship, which it seems like that's what you want on your chart. That's what it seems like. So in your 6th house, our main concern is Pluto and Libra. Don't want to say Pluto in the 6th house, because that's not going to cover what we just got finished talking about. You want to know what's going on with Pluto and Libra. Souls born during Pluto and Libra have been learning how to relate to others as equals. By listening to how reality exists for another person, one can become able to give that individual what he or she truly needs. And by having a wide variety of relationships with many value systems, emotional, cultural patterns, and spiritual beliefs, one can grow an understanding of themselves by comparison and contrast. You will find a change and inner growth often come through intense partnerships with both friends and lovers, with a need to examine your unconscious motivations and aspects of relating. You may also have new and revolutionary ideas about law and justice. So like I said, it's a transformation that happened possibly over time. You meet this lion-like energy, but somehow you meet this person in some type of service. And again, like if you keep seeing Mars and Leo and Virgo, it could be the military. Because you might even see Leo. You might even see Libra. Because the military does deal with law and stuff. And Saturn deals with commanding officers and things like that. But it does get to the point where they both seem to want it. And I don't know why they put the vertex in the 6th house. And Virgo here could be two different people. But it's in the 6th house that whole soul union and love and Pluto soulmate start to take place. Going to your 7th house relationship, remember Pluto rules Scorpio. And there you have it. Your true north node is Scorpio in the 7th house. So this is still going to be a deep love, powerful love, transforming love. And we're going to read everything that's in Scorpio. I don't think we're going to do it just yet. But when I do read it, you can apply it back to your 7th house. Great communication skills for relationships and Uranus. So what you really want is, let's do Uranus and Scorpio first, because this is all about your relationship. This is a very powerful position for Uranus, as it is exalted in Scorpio. Scorpio is Uranus' strongest, most creative sign placement, where it expresses its energy in its highest, most positive form. So they've already shown you somewhat of a communicator. So I think whatever you go through is going to help you communicate even better, but you can help other people heal as well, because Scorpio is about healing. Your will and persistence are tremendous. You will find a way to express yourself no matter what. You could be a healer, surgeon, psychologist. No, I've been having a problem with my throat all day. Psychologist, numerologist, psychologist. I just got a problem with my throat. I'm sorry, y'all. Psychologist. Psychologist. Sorry. All day this has been happening. As you are able to go deep beneath the surface into the causes of pain and disease. If your Uranus is afflicted, you will have jealousy, envy, and possessiveness to deal with. It is unwise to avoid the necessities for personal growth and regeneration as placement demands, for you are morally capable of the highest or the lowest behavior. Passion must be joined by compassion for you. And resentment must give way to understanding. In general, many individuals with this placement are innovative in sexual matters, including anything taboo, and have insights into what makes our darker side tick. The mystical, the occult, and drugs hold your interest. So this is all going on in your 7th house. Scorpio. So this could also be your house. See, don't forget it's partnerships, which could be a business. Relationships, partnerships, contracts, but even the law. So now we'll have the sun in Scorpio. Scorpio sun sign is a sign of transformation, intense and profound. They are intelligent, affable, affable and courteous. They are self-reliant and in control. But underneath they are full of emotional energy. The Scorpio sun sign personally may be magnetic and even hypnotic. They can emulate the phoenix and seem to perish, only to be reborn and attain new heights. And that's what happened because in your fifth house. Juno wants a serious relationship, but it didn't really start really popping off, I guess, to that Virgo healing. And didn't heal more in Virgo. But that's because this person was willing to forgive. Sun sign Scorpio are imaginative and have strong powers of reason. They are adept at using their intuition and have a good handle on critical and analytical skills. They can be obsessive, which can give them the potential for genius. They may have the impression of being aloof or withdrawn, when in truth they don't miss a single detail of what is happening around them. Nothing is forgotten. It is merely filed away to be used when it is most advantageous. Now, that's how Prince was. The artist known as Prince, he was. I never saw his chart, but I've read how he was. I'm not saying his sun sign or moon sign was Scorpio, which it may have been, but he definitely had a powerful Scorpio. I know if I ever see his chart, it's going to be a powerful Scorpio. This talent can be very helpful in business, and that's what I just got finished saying. Plus, it's in the seventh house of partnerships. Being able to keep their assets hidden until they are needed is a Scorpio trait. They do well in jobs that require analyzing, such as investigation, research, espionage, the military, they go to military again, science, mysteries, medicine, law, or philosophy, and if a job offers prestige and money, so much the better. They can be cold and calculating, and they can be ruthless in the pursuit of power. They may be overly demanding, unforgiving, and unreasonable. As employees, they tend to keep to themselves and do their work. They are low maintenance and industrious. If they do something kind for a coworker or someone in need, chances are they will do so anonymously. The negative side of their personality can be intimidating, revengeful, and manipulative. They model the extremes of behavior and can be very jealous. They can be rebellious, and those who get into political extremism can also make the most ruthless terrorists. They can be brooding, aggressive, and arrogant. And some indulge in sadistic brutality. On the other hand, those born under the sign may be a fan of procrastination and be a bit self-indulgent. This can happen in part because they can get so overwhelmed that they just shut down. Their directiveness can be overly critical or hurtful. They can be loners. They don't need a lot of social interaction to make them happy. On the positive side, they are disciplined and have great willpower and are very sensitive. They have a depth of character that can be inspiring. When they give you a compliment, it is an honest assessment. They make a loyal friend, but don't ever betray them, for they will find it difficult to forgive. Scorpio sun signs are loyal and loving to their partners. They're passionate and revel in a relationship that returns the passion. They can lose themselves to pleasure and forget about the rest. If they get too deeply hurt, they may just turn themselves off emotionally and become celibate. Many Scorpio sun sign relationships are stormy, but extremely exciting. Interestingly, numerous star-crossed lovers have a Scorpio complement, especially if there is a tragic aspect. Moderation is also difficult for the Scorpio sun sign, but very necessary. They need to maintain a healthy diet with a little exercise. If they overdo their exercise or sport, they may end up hurting themselves. So that's all in your eighth house, seventh house. But your seventh house will be connected to your eighth house because of Scorpio. All right, now whenever you see Sagittarius, which is in your ninth house, and your eighth house, Sagittarius rules the ninth house. But Sagittarius is about long distance, and it's also about, like, if it's a twin flame, twin soul situation, it's when they finally reach the mature stage where they won't keep breaking up. Now, you know this is a highly psychic person, but when you're dealing with Neptune, Neptune rules Pisces, very discerning, very intuitive, and then you're dealing with the eighth house ruled by Scorpio. This is your being psychic. So with Neptune, you could do a lot of telepathy, but with Neptune and Sagittarius, you can really do a lot of telepathy, telekinesis, astral planning. You're going to be in touch with the people in the world, what's going on in the world, but you really can receive messages from all over. Because Sagittarius is long distance, foreign, higher self, higher education, law, higher laws, in-laws, higher courts, religion. So you may have some type of relations one way or another with legal matters or even higher courts. So Neptune, in your eighth house, your dreams are definitely going to be telling you a lot of stuff. You'll be receiving a lot of information from dreams and spiritual insight. So now, before we go further, we'll deal with everything that's in the eighth house. The eighth house is ruled by Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, and deals with secrets, sexual matters, mystery, doubt, accusations, suspicions, supernatural psychic abilities, internal plotting, internal indignation, conspiracy, violence, revenge, anxiety, esoteric knowledge, forbidden knowledge, hidden knowledge, obsessions, addictions, compulsions, power struggles, manipulations, abuse, greed, lust, compulsive behavior, codependency, stalking, intense watery emotions, arguments, debates, taunting, revenge, fear, intensity, psychic abilities, great transformation, high sexuality, doubt, debt, taxes, IRS, legal matters, court, lawsuits, inheritances, law breaking, shared resources, finances, business, karma, other people's money, the soul, reincarnation, afterlife, birth, death, resurrection, rebirth, regeneration, rejuvenation, animalistic behavior, freaky down and dirty behaviors, psychological situations, studies, research, knowledge, forbidden knowledge, hidden knowledge, investigations, investigators, managers, agents, addictions, drugs, alcoholism, other worlds, creepy crawlies, other dimensions, science, higher science, holistic healings, spiritual healing, alternative medicine, internet, long distance, advanced technology, alchemy, metaphysics, sacred geometry, things that are forbidden, taboo, astrology, knowledge, hidden knowledge, aliens, higher life, deceived persons, astral planning, telekinesis, telepathy, dreams, interpretations, animal enemies, Halloween, the divine womb, deities, tarot cards, higher thoughts, inheritances, loans, banking, animals, pregnancy, woman's body, and more. The eighth house rules other people's money and transformations. Other people's money can mean debt, taxes, inheritances, wills, joint finances, shared resources, and loans. The eighth house is one of three relationship houses. Fifth house is love. Seventh house is commitment. Eighth house is sex. So you're going to have all that going on not only in your eighth house, in your seventh house, but your eighth house as well. Now, your ninth house is working with your eighth house because your ninth house is medium coeli, which is an aspect of your true life purpose. Your true north node, which is your life purpose for this life. So, your ninth house kind of career and reputation. So, I don't know. You might really go further with it. You might really go be some type of relationship healer or relationship counselor. Because you definitely got psychic abilities and intuitive and things. But this is kind of unique. So you might your seventh house might be because see whenever you see medium quality in the ninth house, what they're trying to show you is that your 10th house will be important, but it's actually going to be your ninth house and your seventh house that primarily indicate your career sector, life purpose. And then your 10th house, which is supposed to be a career sector, is Sun, is Moon, and Aquarius. So that's the internal side, the feminine side. But Aquarius is always wants to try to enlighten and help the community around itself. But it does like its freedom and independence. So you kind of have that going on with your moon sign. Your 11th house is friends, association, and groups. But once again, with Vesta there, a very a spiritual, because Vesta is about spiritual, but she's also the fire. So you have to be careful because this is where you would spend most of your energy, and you can actually get sick if you don't know when to refresh yourself and take breaks. And Palace retrograde means you have social issues, so you would have a deeper concern for social issues. And that 11th house is ruled by Aquarius, which is in your 10th house. A lot of times when you see this 10th and 11th, because sometimes your customers or people who support your business will be friends, association, groups. Now, you see. Well, this is your 12th house. Well, that's East Point. Again, that's where the sun was going over the ecliptic when you were born. And you have Chiron there, so you have some type of healing that needs to be done that hasn't been done yet. But your 12th house is your house of rest, reckoning. And with Aries there may have been an aggressive bull. But with Aries there, you got to deal with that aggression. You got to come to grips with everything you haven't dealt with before. And remember, Mars is ruled by Aries, so you can already see that family connection. But it may be some things you just have to come to grips with, be honest with, and thank God God made you a communicator. So that's a major part of healing, is being able to talk about it and move forward. Now, the 12th house can be the house of confinement, house of churches, house of buildings, house of police. Now, whenever Jupiter is in your 12th house, that's your guardian angel. He's going to be blessing you also. And the more you apply what you should be doing in your 12th house, the more he'll bless you. So he'll help you with all these retrogrades. He'll help you with financial matters. He's there to help. But the reason why Jupiter is retrograde because it helps you with your intuition. Also, it helps you see things that you didn't see before. Like if you left something before, Jupiter will help you see where it may not have been a good thing to have left, or these things work together. But the bottom line is, and you see that with your 12th house because you tend to have forgave. So sometimes the Jupiter helps you see a bigger picture, or sometimes Jupiter may actually tell you don't go back. So in your 12th house, you're using that aggressive Aries energy, but you're using it to help other people maybe be more confident about themselves. And if you see people that are afraid to move forward, maybe you help them a little bit move forward. That's pretty much what the 12th house would be about. All right, so then that is the chart on the left. I'm going to pause this. When we come back, we'll do the chart on the right. All right, before we go on to the chart on the right. Now, on the left, it doesn't seem like a lot of money on the left because of some of the reasons we stated. But it does look like they have a better chance of finances in the 6th house, 7th house, whatever I said, because of Venus, and maybe in the 8th house, because the 8th house is really the 7th house because of Scorpio, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So maybe if they get the partnership correct and can move forward, they may see finances. Because there may be finances in the 12th house with Jupiter there, but again, Jupiter, because I heard Jupiter retrograde is not as bad as, say, other planets retrograde. But Jupiter retrograde in this particular 12th house is helping them reflect on the pros and cons of the relationship. And remember, Aries rules the 1st house, where it's Taurus. And as soon as you step into this person's ascendant, which is also their 1st house. And again, the ascendant is where the sun rolls over the horizon at birth. At the time of birth, the EP is the sun relation to the ecliptic at birth. So they're both Tauruses. So again, now we've already, how we do this, when we're on the left side, we explain everything with the symbol signs. But if I've already explained it, then I wouldn't explain it again. But again, Taurus, 2 Taurus, and that could be a problem. They're both ascendant as Taurus. It could be a problem because it could be a little stubbornness. And they're both earth signs as well. Maybe, maybe not. Now we go to the 1st house. So you can already tell these two are connected because it's just looking very similar. Now, the person on the right, we must remember, the archangels gave us this time. So, and I'm going to tell you what happened. When she didn't have the time, what came in my head was 3 o'clock. But I still checked it out with the archangels, and they still came at 3 o'clock. All right, 3 o'clock p.m. But I'm always open about that if I don't see hardcore facts, because if you notice, their charts are starting to mimic each other already. So you got Gemini issues with no nurturing, and in his case, he's got the Mars retrograde. But like I said, we don't really know the specific time. We didn't see it in hard concrete, so that Mars could very well be in Cancer. We don't know. But either way, it's similar. It's still going to be similar past life issues. Whenever you see Saturn retrograde, it could definitely mean abuse. And it's still a Libra, just like I said. So far you're seeing a karmic relationship. You call it a soul karmic relationship so far. But as we go further, we might see more. But it's definitely mimicking it. And you got to give her a lot of credit because she did a lot of forgiving. for whatever reason. What people have to understand with natal charts is this. Like, I could find a lot of information out with a basic natal chart analysis. Somebody might say, oh, well, I play an instrument. How come that? That comes like if you had an angel card reading. Because it's all based on astrology. The archangel will tell you what houses to look in, and depending on the question you ask and stuff like this. But what you're getting here is a basic natal chart reading about life purposes, family, relationships, finances, twin flame stuff, twin soul stuff, soulmate stuff, past life stuff. So Saturn retrograde means in this life they really have to learn patience, to hold themselves accountable for their actions. Don't bully, and don't give people assignments you should be carrying out yourself. Same thing with Mars retrograde. Essentially, we just don't have to argue all the time, because either Saturn or Mars, they can really fly off the handle, and they just think everybody's out to get them and stuff like that. They really stand up to authority, and sometimes you just don't have to do that. So you have to learn to quiet down, patience, and sometimes it does require counseling. And that's why I said without ever looking at his chart, because that's who came up was Raphael. When I asked the archangels his time, Raphael came out. So they both seem to have this. There's a high strung, and they both had to calm down because you're risking health problems, and that's what the archangels want you to know. Same thing with him. I would say they're twins because they almost mimic each other. Same thing with him, Virgo, with the Juno. So you'll find yourself in a serious relationship with a Virgo, and hers is the same when you'll find yourself in a serious relationship with a Virgo. Both in the 5th house, and that's why his chart is like that. See, they offset his chart so that these two could mimic each other. Because see, her first house, well, see, his first house is still Taurus, but really that's in the 12th house. See, her first house is really her first house, but his 12th house became first house because of EP, but that's so they could mimic each other. And I'm sure they probably talked, but they probably had similar lifestyles. Similar things happen, similar names of people walking around looking alike and all that kind of crazy stuff. Probably even with a dog. Hey, he looks like Barfy. Is that Barfy? No, that's my dog. He looks like my dog. No, because my twin has my phone number. It's freaking crazy. It's like your phone rings, you look at the number, and it's almost your freaking number. It's like, what the heck is this? So this stuff is just crazy. All right, so their houses are pretty much the same. Then we get to the 6th house. Again, Pluto. These are I've seen charts like this before, almost like identical twin flames. I call them. Same thing. Pluto, Libra, the vertex. And now, and let me just tell you, he's psychic too. I'll tell you what cards came out. To find out his times, that Kyle came out, which is Gemini, which is twins, but good mental ability, and everything I said about Gemini, because there seems to be Gemini issues with them. Raphael came out to tell you to breathe, because Raphael is all about taking care of yourself. The moon card came out. Gabriel, creative writing, and his moon sign is we're looking at it right now. Scorpio, so you highly psychic person, highly intuitive person, and the moon and Scorpio deal a lot with the soul or soul reincarnation. And then Azrael came out, which is Capricorn. So they have similar interest, and for him, love is right there. Because love and Venus is very passionate. All right, now what we're going to do, because he's got 24, she's got 24, and it's in significant spots, because I only do these numerology when I start seeing patterns. So we're going to take a moment and do that. 24 degrees Aries. This is on her chart in her 12th house. So the 12th house, if it's these two, the 12th house is telling them they have to come to grips with their aggressions and, you know, compatibility. And this is like, sometimes, you know, if you're in the military or something, but just talking about within a relationship between themselves. Okay, this person can be domineering, careful, trustworthy character. One has the capacity to fight against all kinds of opponents. However, one must understand that people are entitled to have different opinions and lifestyles and that they must be respected. Otherwise, one may spark off relentless resistance, serious ordeals, and unnecessary troubles in both the private and the public areas of life. The public and private spheres. So that 24 degrees Aries, gotta be careful. And then he has a 24 degrees Scorpio in Venus. It's just a lot of love, but it's also a lot of intensity, and you just have to be careful. Some people are like that though. Like, I'm sorry, I won't say what they are a people. So don't think I'm saying just women in general. But this is a people. They're known, but they're women. They expect to be hit. Like, if you don't hit them and stuff, they feel like they're not loved and stuff. So that's crazy. But when you see kind of stuff like that with watery Scorpio, a lot of emotions, maybe high intensity of Venus, you could see stuff like that. So now we're doing 24 degrees Scorpio. Generous and courageous character, determined to brave any danger in order to help one's fellow creatures out of a difficult situation. Although no gratitude is expressed by the persons rescued, one continues to lend a helping hand to people in need. So much selflessness arouses public esteem and respect. However, one must be aware of jealousy, hypocrisy, and slander. And this is in the service sector, could be military, might not be military. They may both be military or something like that. Some type of service. And that's his true north node too. Both at 21 degrees Scorpio. So let's check that out. Give me a moment. Intrusive, nervous, and unstable character. Reversal of fortune brings about a humble and ordinary life. So they may have had a fortune and somehow they lost it, and now they have to be more humble and ordinary. So if they have ruined their social status, they can recover it through hard work, and sometimes through a marriage. Because on the other chart you saw there was a period between meeting in the fifth house of her in a Leo energy and feeling like this could be a serious relationship to finally consummating that to a serious relationship in the sixth house. Same thing with her, Neptune, Leo. So they could talk to each other and they can kind of see the same stuff. Because this is all in the eighth house. Now his sun sign is Capricorn, all this in the ninth house. Great communications. So he could have a career, because the ninth house can be about travel, and it's also like long distance travel, but sometimes it's not even physically. It could be internet, but he could have somewhat of a career there. You even see Mercury. So he's got communications concerning long distance. And remember, higher education, culture, class, long distance travel, law, higher courts, higher courts, in-laws, religion. Higher laws might be higher courts. It just depends. So he could have a career in something like that, and he would be a real good communicator. They're both real good communicators because they both have Mercury conjunct the Sun. So these are very good communicators. And now he would have a career, and that his medium quality is in his ninth house too. So he would have a career in Aquarius, enlightening people. So he's got the whole Scorpio, Aquarius going on, which means friends, association, and groups. So that life purpose is also where he could find his income. So you just have to be wise because the possibility for making income is there. A lot of people just have misconceptions. It's a universal law to give and receive. So that's one thing the archangels taught me. And he has the potential to make finances in his sixth house with Scorpio and the moon and things like that. Both of these people could be writers, because even I think Gabriel came out and said creative writing. Yeah, creative writing was the moon. So when Gabriel came out, and that's it, so it said creative writing. So you could even do, but when he says creative writing, it could be music, anything. Now his 10th house, you see a lot of 22s over. That's the twin flame number. His 10th house is Pisces, very spiritual, which is very interesting. And you had the priest of Vesta, but again, he's very spiritual, but he still has to calm down or he'll burn himself out. He has to know when to take breaks and don't give so much. Whenever you see Pisces or the 12th house, never give so much that you burn yourself out. And you still have to teach people to don't sit around waiting for you to do everything. They have to learn how to get on their own too. But Pisces is about sacrificing and helping others. So now we have 27 degrees Pisces. And Palace helps you with patterns, helping you to see patterns. But if it was retrograde, it still helps you with social issues. So whenever I say Palace, I say social issues no matter what. All right, so I think it said 27 degrees Pisces. 27 degrees Pisces, careful, courageous, resilient character. One can achieve success in all occupations linked to the sea. So anytime you see Neptune or Pisces, you're dealing with water and foreign lands, such as fishing, import, export, trade. So you might even find a business in that, because we already said about foreign lands career. The exploitation of merchant ships or tankers. Thalassotherapy. Thalassotherapy. But the most serious threat also comes from the sea, and all precautions must be taken in order to face them. For instance, by subscribing a comprehensive professional and family insurance policy. So if you're going to be dealing with the waters, dealing with the seas, or travel, any type of traveling business over the seas, they're encouraging you to get life insurance and make sure you study to know what you're doing. And they're showing good fortune is telling you if you do that, you'll have good fortune. And it's also implying something spiritual, which I have no idea what that is. But that's what they're implying. Alright. So, your 12th house is much better for the Aries energy. In fact, dealing with the Aries energy, you can have finances. Because, again, the 12th house is really about reckoning. Finding out what's going on. Why do we have these issues? What are the issues? Let's work them out so we can get better. Could deal with hospitals. Could deal with any kind of building. Research buildings, library, but whatever it takes. Now with Lilith in the 12th house, Lilith just goes internal. So but he also has a guardian angel, and see, these are twins, so the guardian angel is helping both of you. So we're gonna do 15 degrees Aries. Selfish, materialistic, conceited character. One is only concerned in luxury, fine clothing, and all kinds of pleasures. One spends lavishly for oneself but displays utter stinginess towards other people. One is driven by self-interest and picks one's acquaintances among wealthy and influential persons. Good luck seems to smile on this degree. Yeah, you got Jupiter right there. And with the support of powerful protectors, that's Jupiter, one achieves success in occupations involving precious stone, gold and silver, and jewelry in general. Nevertheless, unless the natal chart indicates otherwise, such intense self-centeredness and extravagance brings about ruin and unhappiness. See, they were talking about ruin and unhappiness, and you got to remember your 12th house usually connects to your 6th house, and this also leads into your 7th house. See, the whole purpose of having Aries in the 12th house is to bring it to closure. The aggression, you're in the 12th house now, so now you got to work with people and use that as aggression to help them. And only when you do that will Jupiter really bless you. Because as that the reading I just read said, otherwise you're going to be getting blessed thinking you got it like that, and you can't fail, and then all of a sudden it's all going to be taken from you. And the 6th house is opposite the 12th house. So let's look at Lilith. Just give me a moment. Lilith in the 12th house creates an urge for illusion. So that's not good because you may have people acting like they're, really nice people, caring, but they're really not. Illusion, fantasies, intoxication conditions. You are probably susceptible to drugs and easily tempted. On the other hand, this position is a very strong creative and inspirational capacity. You vary between social contacts and retreats to isolation, because the 12th house can be the house of isolation and confinement. So this tells this person, make sure you do have a personality, and don't help people so much that you don't even have a personality. Lilith in Aries often causes an extreme strive for autonomy, autonomy, leading to problems in partnerships. Because that's why I said everything going on in your 12th house is really a reflection of just relationship issues, which appear to get better on her chart. Because Lilith in Aries is very much interested in partnerships. But they may change partners regularly because they always find something wrong with them. But that's that whole Lilith thing. See, Lilith was a perfectionist, and they don't realize that nobody's perfect, so they just kind of like being running from person to person or flirting. But this person may be fair, fighting for justice and peace. All right, we're going to look at the number on Lilith, which is 1915. We're going to look that up. Joanne Scribes, Sacred Scribes, Angel Numbers. Okay, and trust the messages you are receiving intuitively as they are guiding you towards making necessary positive life changes that will assist you on many levels. Make changes that suit who you truly are and release and let go of the old, including old and outdated ways of doing things, in order to allow the new to enter your life. And we are under a new moon right now. Listen to your intuition and inner peace, inner guidance, and trust that your angels are supporting you as you break free from old, outdated restraints and follow the promptings of your soul. You have to release the past. And I believe that's what the card said, Raphael, because that's what he says. Breathing techniques. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly to release old patterns. So it's telling you to learn self-love, self-work, self-worth. If you have recently lost something of personal value to you, going through a lost job, or the end of a relationship, expect it to be replaced with something better suited. When you leave something behind, rid something from your life, or separate from something or someone, give thanks for its presence in your life, then release it with love and gratitude for its service to you. Angel number 1915 is telling you to release the past, go with the flow, and adapt to change gracefully, accepting that they are for your highest good. All right. That does conclude the natal chart analysis. They are twins. They're like identical twins almost. But you could, if you were listening, you could hear the difference between them. But me personally, they both got great communication skills. So learn how to use those communication skills to get a little bit better, and learn how to deal with the Aries stuff that's kind of messing your relationship up a little bit in that 12th house. If anybody's interested in any of this, sir, we do anything. Anything that's like it could be astrology, but anything is considered like hidden or unknown. People don't really understand or know about. It's on a natal chart. I've met people that were connected to planets, and we could find it on the natal chart. So really anything. So it is here. And look, we do life purpose, name and numerology, life purpose, all kind of life purpose. We do the angel card readings, phone consultations for those who feel they need it. But we really do anything. So you can contact us. We are having a lot of sales right now, and if you don't have the service price list, all that information is in the description box below. God bless.